Oh no, none of the freaking things are here. 1 second. There we go. Hi. Welcome back. It's been a long time since we've done Pathfinder, but we are back.
Penis.
God damn you.
It's tradition.
Hi, I'm Mags. Normally you see me running the Sunday game, but tonight I am playing Zakait Nakaran, a 3 foot tall mythling axolotl paladin. And we have our wonderful DM tonight.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sid, or sometimes people call me Ika, but you normally see me as a player in Sweet and Sour when like recently, but like we're going back to Pathfinder. So yeah, I am the DM or GM to be non copyright.
And then we have our barbarian. Our barbarian. Camp, that's you.
Oh no, it's not working, is it?
Camp.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Fuck a duck. Oh my Jesus Christ.
You leave
Hi
those
guys,
ducks alone.
I'm Q. You know me as the storyteller for New Orleans by Night and the DM for Pathfinder by, or not Pathfinder by, oh my fucking god, Strong of Sweet and Sour, Jesus. You also know me as the lovable stoner Eurydice from the Winds and Travelers of Fate, but you also know me as Tambrick, Brooke's unwanted at this point adoptive brother who's kind of a dumbass. But tonight I am playing Kaltoth, the half-orc barbarian guardian for the group and one of Macaron's acquaintances of sorts.
Banana has stepped away due to personal reasons, so they will not be here with Turbo. For now, we have a newcomer. Introduce yourself and what you would like to divulge of your character at the beginning of this.
Me. Y'all just call me as DK is fine. I play a wizard character, 5'6" short king, and I think that's enough mystery for now.
Fair enough. And then we have the one and only Burb.
Hello.
Introduce yourself and the character you play.
I am Burb. My friends call me Altera or Burb. I am playing Nalias, the courtesan, and I look forward to being back in here.
Yeah. We hope that everyone will enjoy our little session. It has been a hot minute since we have been back. And because it's been a hot minute, GM, how about you give us a little recap?
Okay. Should I do?
There we
I'll
go.
just do the last session recap. Last time the party had an encounter with the king or like the emperor of like the country, or yeah, the emperor of the empire that they're in right now. It's an empire. And he told them about a prophecy that involved these our heroes, and that's more or less he got attacked, and our party had to quote unquote save him, but it turns out he was just a holographic image all along, so to speak, and he he's actually elsewhere in the kingdom right now. He just was making a what do you call it? A virtual visit uh, to inform them of stuff. And yeah, that's basically the gist of what happened last time.
I got so many tusks to send to my mom. So we all got a good sleep. We had gotten rooms at the tavern. We all got a good sleep. I think who's gonna be waking up first? That is the true question. I guess Macaron wakes up early because he does his training every morning. He got to do his push-ups. So I guess that's where Macaron will be. Macaron will kind of be like outside the tavern, out front, kind of just. You see him just literally doing push-ups, one-armed push-ups sometimes.
gotta keep in shape.
Exactly. Where's everyone else?
Yeah, who wakes up second? Or does a certain someone walk up to our axolotl friend?
Am I the certain someone, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I think y'all should reconvene first, so that way I can finish putting in. I'm doing my skills right now. I'm almost done, and then I want to interact with the people.
Okay, fine.
Slinks back into darkness.
Cal Talk can get up next. She's usually up pretty early to do her morning routine.
What is her morning routine involve?
Usually it's about a half-hour run just to get her cardio going a little bit, something light, then about 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, just general light workout in the morning.
Not gonna do the Saitama workout quite yet.
No, that's for days that she's stressed out. She had a nice night drinking last night. This is her treat myself day. She's doing a light workout today.
Okay, who's up next? I think there's only one person left.
Nalias, what you doing?
Last I remembered, I was working as a courtesan to get some extra money. So I would
Okay.
probably be sleeping in.
Okay, so you're sleeping in a little bit. Do you want to let time pass as everyone does their morning routines, including sleeping in, and then you can reconvene?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Macaron, Kaltov, as she's like making her run, we'll see Macaron just. There's sit-ups, there's push-ups that he's grabbing onto because he's so short, he's grabbing onto like clotheslines and using them to do chin-ups, swinging his hammer around. Intense workout, 24/7.
She just kind of nods, very, very impressed, and is just like, "Yep, no, doing good," and then goes back to doing her thing.
Meanwhile, Anne, our lovable NPC, who's mostly a silent type, she's, if you remember her, she's there's a recap. They kind of met her more or less last session as well. I mean, not for the first time, but for the second time, and kind of added her to the party. She uses a gun, but is like a scientist, and so she's gonna be doing some kind of sciencey things in the morning. some experiments with gunpowder and whatnot.
She's experimenting with orphans.
No.
I needed to unmute so I could tell you how I cackled so hard. Not expecting that.
Listen, Macaron, too, is an orphan who was raised by a warforged who takes in orphans, and for the longest time in my Sunday game, my character Brooke was so convinced that that robot was doing something with the orphans.
It's terrible.
She created a human skin. We were all very concerned.
This isn't a certain anime. We're not doing anything for orphans.
So,
That you're aware of.
I guess after a while of Macaron doing his intense workout, he's gonna start heading in so that he may get some breakfast and prepare himself mentally for the day. He has fueled his body. Now it's time to fuel his soul with food. Lots of food. Burp, do you need to blow your nose?
No, sorry.
So is everyone now I guess gonna wake up now after sleeping in for a bit?
I mean, do I have to?
I mean, you have to at some point.
Macron will come find me sooner or later.
Don't you want... You know what? Macaron's gonna just barge open the door, just like, "Good morning, Nalias. It is time for breakfast. You have slept long enough. The sun is in the sky. Let us go on this amazing adventure."
I'm going to roll over and just stare at you and be like, you're a morning person now.
I have always been a morning person. When the sun rises, it can fuel the soul. Now it's time to fill our bodies up with food. Come on.
How much do you weigh again?
A lot. Come on, let's go. He just starts waddling
Oh,
out.
really? Come back here, you. Like I can't mage hand you around the corner. Fine, I'll start getting dressed and follow them down.
While they're doing that shenaniganery and everything, Caltop has finished her workout and she is now having a breakfast beer at the bar.
Caltop, that is not a good breakfast. You need something with protein, vegetables, and a balanced diet.
No, you don't.
I am getting my balanced diet. I'm just having an appetizer while they bring out my omelet with the bacon and the boar's meat and the spinach on it. Trust me, honey. This is my diet I've had for the last 5-6 years. It ain't never steered me wrong.
Macaron's gonna pray for your kidneys.
Oh, they're fine. You only need one to survive anyway.
What would the nuns say when they look at you?
They're surprised I didn't start sooner.
Macaron's just gonna order some food. A nice balanced meal, some meat, some vegetables, some grain. Definitely lots of carbs because freaking carbs help build muscle.
And I'm just having mine in liquid form.
Carbs in liquid form.
Macaron is disappointed.
Is the cute bartender working again?
Is the what?
Is the cute bartender who was working the night before the one working this morning?
Yeah. That's who is the bartender again? Can't remember if I had a specific one, but yeah, it's the same one.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, because, like, Caltop was attempting to flirt and it was not going well, so...
Oh. Great.
So, yeah.
I think the party's all gathered now, and is gonna kind of silently what do you say, sneak up and join the group.
I
Wait, who's sneaking up?
Oh, I don't have her name tag on. This one right here.
Oh, we can move.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't see that was back there. I was still on the sheet, so I was just didn't know there's a whole beautiful room back there. Ignore me.
Macaron's just munching away at his food. Axolotls are very fun because they quite literally eat anything. So, fun fact about Macaron is when you look at him, it's kind of like that Toothless moment where he opens his mouth and you don't really see teeth until he starts to eat, and then teeth just kind of protrude out.
Oh. Yes. So I got my skills at least sussed out. I still need to like throw some second levels into the mix, but I'm even okay playing it like I'll pick them now, and it'll mean that I prep them should we long rest, and I just don't have those spell slots because we're in the middle of stuff.
Okay.
But do I know these people, or am I just like at the table with them?
No, you. Oh yeah, I kind of jumped the gun with putting you over there. Let's
No,
say
you're good. I
you.
just want to make sure
Let's
that
say you walk up.
there's no pretense.
Like, wait. Actually, the entrance is over here. Let's put you by the entrance over here. We.
I'm just getting.
All right. So let's say you just walk in.
So that said, like, um, what would I have a reason to just walk up and start talking to these folk, or
Oh
like,
yeah. I should mention that there's a notes. Uh, Actually, I'll role play it. So Anne comes up and is like, excuse me,
to me?
to call Toth.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
We can't hear you.
Motherfucking bullshit. That's what Cam's saying right now. Motherfucking bullshit.
Probably.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
apparently I'm just not allowed to open Forge on my tablet because Forge causes Discord to freeze. So,
Oh, I see it.
anyway, Cal talks and give her a big smile and just, well, good morning, darling. How's this beautiful, fine morning treating you?
Oh, it's mostly lovely, but I got a note, and it says it's a note from Turbo, and it says that I have things to do. It's kind of hard to read. The handwriting isn't very good. Probably just goblin stuff. But it says something like I I have um I have work to do with my family and my master, and I need to take some time off.
Oh, well, bless his heart. Well, I hope he gets back okay. And if I give you a note, could you send it back to him just to let him know that we're still thinking about him?
Okay. I don't know where he went. I just woke up with this note. Um,
Oh, okay. Well, I'll find a way to get a note to him one way or another. But thank you for letting us know, darling. It's gonna be a shame not having him around. He was such a delight.
yeah, you're welcome. Um, yeah, I think maybe it might be beneficial if we found another member for our group.
You might have a point there. Thing is, though, where are we gonna find somebody who's capable and self-sufficient on the
Yeah,
fly like this? Like, normally I'd be all for putting out a hail to whoever happens to be listening nearby, but given the circumstances of the moment, perhaps being a little more vocal about looking for somebody like that might not be a good idea.
yeah. If only there were someone eavesdropping and able to join us.
A
Well, that would
dog
be a
knows a
heck of a
bone.
coincidence now, wouldn't it?
Overhearing this conversation, this subtle conversation, uh, this 5'6" short king, adorned in burgundy, like what was once robes, but is now fashioned into more like a waist-tied tunic. You can tell it's like it's signifying I've given up a life of scholar for travel. They're they're a little dirty and busted up. Not like physically beaten, but definitely been on the road for a time. And they immediately approach the conversation. Uh, just oaken, gray, dusty brown hair. Comes up and shakes. Oh man, I'm gonna freaking biff every name. Hold on. It's like the game won't let me look at people. It keeps just zooming into me, and I can't read the names. Okay. Kaltov? Is that?
Yes, it's Kaltoth.
Okay, make sure I'm saying that right. Okay. So, I would come walking on over to it. Also, is it supposed to just say game paused for me, or is that like, is that normal?
No, that's glitched. So try refreshing your page.
Probably makes a lot of sense why I can't move around and see people and zoom. So, it doesn't let me be a
Yeah.
player. All right. Oh yeah. See, now that's probably gonna be better. Hopefully, let's see. Yay! All right. So I'm gonna come up where I heard a conversation of mention of goblin writing, and then
Well,
I still for some reason just can't go down to the bottom of the page. Like it just zooms into the top where the stairs is. I don't know.
you can try left clicking and dragging or right clicking and dragging. I don't know which one
Oh,
more
it's
those.
that. Oh my god, I thought there was like a scroll thing going on here. I was like, I'm too used to like Blender and Unreal Engine and different things that literally function that way that I'm like, ignore me. Jesus Christ, excuse me. Cool. So I'm gonna walk up. Hey, so I heard someone's talking about you couldn't read some goblin writing. Um, I'm a bit of a aficionado of all languages and such, purveyor of services and this and that. Was wondering, would you want me to take a poke at that goblin writing? I can probably transcribe a bit of it from you for a coin price, right?
I mean, if you want to take a look, I don't know. I mean, some of it looks like runes, but I'm not sure if it
Runes, you
actually
got some
says
cursed
anything.
ledger there? You trying to curse me with a hex or something?
No,
I
no,
don't think
don't, no, nothing like that. We wouldn't do nothing to a kind stranger just offering their services right off the bat
Oh
like that.
no,
Not
I'm
unless
just
you gave us.
kidding you. I know a
Wish.
magic rune when I see one. Let me have the ledger. I'll give it a read if you'd like, or if you don't, then I heard you was hiring. Is somebody hiring? I sure could
Well,
use some some companions. I'm
here,
just kind of out on the dirt.
how about you see what you can make of this first? And Anne hands you the note.
I will
Okay.
say what you do
Uh,
see of Kaltoth is even sitting down, she easily while sitting down, she looks like she's about 5'10" or so, and she is built like a fucking basically just a pound, like a pure muscular Amazonian who surprisingly looks tougher than she acts.
Hell yeah.
So you as you read it, you basically you can read like maybe every other word, and it sounds it's summarizes to about what Anne said, but like the words that you can't read, you recognize that it's just like bad handwriting, and like you can't
Okay, so it's
it's
not against
indecipherable.
me, you know. It's just the fact sloppy handwriting, you know. Goblins, they're not very elegant. Their penmanship leaves much to be desired. Look, so you know, basically what you said. So y'all hiring for coin, yeah?
We're
Well,
not. Oh, go ahead.
I wouldn't say for coin per se, but if things were to happen along the way, we wouldn't stop you from taking your fair share.
Are you just looking for buds or something?
In a way, in a manner of speaking.
That's fine. I'm not
I
money
am.
motivated anyway. I just wanted to fit in. Most people won't talk to me unless it's some kind of weird job contract. So I figured, you know, come up all business savvy like, you know, maybe let me hang out a bit. Well, I'm just in the same boat looking for friends and all that.
Can I roll perception to see if he's actually just looking for people to hang out with, or if there's something like some ulterior motive? Or
Yeah,
would that be sense motive?
that would be sense motive, but I'll roll it for you.
Oh yeah, right.
Um,
I forgot. Ugh. Hopefully,
Macaron.
fingers crossed. I'm gonna be getting a PC next week. We'll see what happens.
yeah.
Macaron is literally sitting there listening to this, just like, oh, he wants friends. That's so sweet.
Okay, you get a 16. Uh, let's see. I'll let how do you say it? O1. I'll let O1 kind of let's talk about whether they're lying or not and whatnot.
And to make life easier on everyone, just it's pronounced basically the same as Owen, but like just
Okay.
with
Oh,
if you want to put a little more oomph under it, like technically it's O1, like O, and then I won. You know, if you really want to get in the headspace, but they sound so similar that no one's gonna care, especially the way I'm gonna say it. So,
okay.
Especially the way that Macaron's gonna say it.
but no. What did you roll again? What was it again? You said
It was a
16.
16 to sense motive to see if you're how honest you are.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. For what it's worth, sorry, I was just having fun clicking on it. I don't know if that did anything. But yeah, no, literally just it's not just an aloof sense of companionship, but the purity is sincere. The motive is probably more like Owen can tell that there is something different about this entire group just from being around their aura and was drawn to it and kind of wants to see and float on that wave and see where it leads.
Okay. Yeah, once she doesn't get the vibe that you're like malicious or anything, Caltop's gonna smile and motion the seat next to her and just, well, why don't you sit down? We can have a little chit chat and you can meet the other members of our little friendly party, if you will, and we can definitely discuss and see if you'd be a good fit for us. Like I don't get no bad intentions from you, and trust me, I'm good with
Right.
picking out vibes on people.
Oh yeah, you gotta be. Right. Makes sense to me. I'd love to meet the rest of them. I thought it was getting two friends. I didn't know it was gonna be like a lot.
Well, there's at least two more of us, and who knows what's going to happen down the road.
Two more. Wow.
Actually, as a matter of fact, hey Macaron, and she's gonna wave over to Macaron.
Zed kind of like
Wait.
turns their head, a bone sticking out of their mouth.
We have a friend over here who I'd like you to meet to see if they would be a fit for us. They want to do some traveling, you see.
So
Is
you
it an
blink for a
exotic
few
race, or is this
moments.
like a common thing? Like, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to make sure my character reacts in kind.
From
No,
what I
you're good.
remember, Sid, you said that mythlings aren't really a thing in this world.
So extremely rare.
Extremely rare.
All right, then,
Because
yeah.
yeah, they're native to they're already rare within like the world of Galorian, which is the world where all the Pathfinder races came from, and then they were transported here. So like uh uh and not only a small percentage of Galorians were actually transported, so like there's probably not a lot of mythlings walking
Hell yeah.
around.
So then, Owen's reaction is going to be immediate knowledge-based necessity. He hold just a minute. I have never, and starts pulling in his bag, pulling out a notebook and a pen. Hold on, just a minute. So you're in this? What? I have never seen anything like this before, and I've seen and studied many years all kinds of flora, fauna, and he's writing in his book. And he's turning pages, trying to find get his notes right. Still organizing, skipping pages, but that's how his brain works. Going through. What's your name then? If you
Hello?
don't mind me asking, I'm sorry. I come in hot. It's just I'm so fascinated.
No, it is perfectly fine. My name is Zerite Macaron. It is a pleasure to meet you, my friend.
And that's spelled M-A-C-A-R-O.
It is spelled like the desert.
Okay. Well, culturally, don't want to be insensitive, so. It is a great pleasure to meet you. It's going to be forthright and probably bluntly rude without most tact, but I can't help myself. Can I ask, what are you?
I am a podling, otherwise known as a mythling.
Hey, righty down. I'm sorry, you don't mind, is this invasive? I realised I told you I just started documenting you, and I haven't gotten your consent there, so can I just get your signature right here on this dotted line that I can journal your whereabouts? And I hand the book out with a pen, asking for a signature of a disclaimer that I can take scientific notes on their person.
Macaron
Just for
kind of
science.
Closure.
Macaron kind of like blinks as he takes the pen and writes down where you have like first, middle, and last name. He puts Z-E for the first name, Great for the middle, and last name Macaron as he goes, "It is a pleasure to meet you."
And it likewise. I forgot. Totally out of character. I went southern as fuck. This can throw me off.
Macaron freezes.
Yeah.
Macaron freezes as you go all southern, like, who the fuck are you?
The fuck is this?
All right, we're gonna rewind. All right. It's a pleasure to meet you. I truly cannot tell you how much a fan of the studies in art I am, and to be able to get such invaluable information like this. If I have to sell myself to get into this group, I would like you to know that I will protect you at all costs, as well as the group, but I have a vested interest in studying your person, so if you're okay with that as a vote of confidence, then you have my... I was going to say sword because it's more stoic, but it's really more of like a bowl and a stick. So you got my mace, I believe it's called. I'm not really handy with it.
Well, we can call Nadia over so she may meet you as well, and whatever Kaltov says, they are the leader after all. And as for worrying about whether or not I am safe, you don't have to worry about it. And Macaron slams their giant great hammer down with ease. Just...
So you don't need the bowl on the stick, then?
I am perfectly capable of taking care of myself, but Nadias could always use a body to protect her. She's kind of on the weak side.
Well, now. Damn it, I keep doing it so hard. Well, now, weak is a matter of friggin' voices, man. Weak is a matter of perspective, right? No,
my text would be so strong. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm from there. I feel it. Like
Same.
That's my whole Hex Arcana character that I wanted to do, but I don't want to.
Listen, DK. I struggle with it too. I was trying to do like a full-on Scottish accent, and for one of my players, like rivals, and he went from being like Scottish to Southern to back to Scottish, and I kept catching myself. I'm like, I hate everything.
It's so hard. The struggle. And I do so many of them that it's like they all just start to blend together, and half the time it's not even to an audience. I'll just talk that way around the house for a few days. I'm like, God, dude, stop blending. You're a cultural nightmare.
Macaron is gonna call Nalias over though. Nalias, we have a new friend.
Hello.
What do you want, Macaron?
We have a new friend. Come meet them.
Hi.
For a visual perspective, could you tell us how he looks?
Who, Owen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 5'6", short king, ashen brown hair, like chubby features, short and stout, but not like super big or anything, but just like got a healthy belly on him. Looks well fed for a person as visibly traveled as they are. But and overall seems about of some kind of matured adult age, visibly. I would say on the
as far as like a more appearance goes, you or those from the Pathfinder, those from the Pathfinder classes would recognize him as being human. Nalius would recognize him as either being human or sleepless. It's heads or tails with those folks.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hello.
Because those two races look exactly the same. So,
Am I in any way aware of Nalius's race and all that?
yeah.
I don't know
you
what
go
they
ahead
are.
and tell your races if you want.
She's going to look over you with like a raised eyebrow and use Mage Hand to steal some food from Macaron's bowl.
Oh no!
Though I would say Owen does recognize that Nalius is a night dweller, right?
Indeed, I am.
Yeah, night dweller from the local races. Um, I forget what Kaltoth is exactly, like
Half work.
half work. Okay.
Yeah, she's a half work, 6'4" to 6'5", depending on her posture. Black and red hair, shaved on one side.
Though, like, half orcs, you haven't really within your life you haven't really seen a whole lot of half orcs, so it's kind of newer to you. You might have seen maybe a few before, but they're relatively new to you.
Well, for what it's worth, Kaltolf, you know, I'm actually learned in Orc. Do you speak it, or you just half?
I speak it, but in a way that might be considered offensive because there's a certain accent and inflections, and if you say certain words a certain way, it means a completely different thing. And I
And one of
actually
the
almost
reasons I
burned
didn't
down a town because they thought I was trying to fight somebody instead of asking for a beer.
Yeah, right. So that's why I was actually hoping you could help me brush up on mine. I speak it uh, fluently, in quotes, if I'm being honest. But
You
you know,
speak
so
it
I
in
thought,
that booky way, don't you? Like in that way that when you read it on the page.
yeah, like you know where I'm from when you hear me talking, you know.
No.
Well, I
Yeah.
do. It's a common problem about amongst people who got distinct dialects. Sometimes you struggle moving it around in your mouth. So
No, I
sometimes
completely
it just sounds
understand,
straight
honey.
southern. So
And Kaltosh is going to place a reassuring hand on his shoulder, and her hands are big, and like his shoulder is enveloped by her hand.
yeah, 'cause I'm
Just
like 5'6".
yeah, no, she's got like Shaquille O'Neal hands. She big. She's just gonna smile and wave to the bartender to bring you a beer as well, and just sit down. And let's just have a chat and get friendly for a minute. If you want to travel this, I'd like to get to know you a little better.
Well, that sounds fine. Nalius was coming over to talk too, and I was worried that I don't know if I made the right impression because I gave her the old
Nalius is a particular kind of people. She don't mean nothing by it. She's really
Functionary,
harmless.
right. Okay,
He's
I'm
gonna
a
continue
stranger.
raising an eyebrow at them as I lean over Macaron and steal his cutlery. Thank you.
Eating things slowly off their plate one by one.
Macaron's watching as you like
Calories.
I see as you like take some of the food and you start taking the knife and forks, and Macaron's very confused, but he just kind of like shrugs it off, picking up the rest of his like breakfast and stuff and eating it with his hand.
I promise that they are the best of friends, and I swear that they're harmless. They ain't gonna do nothing to hurt you, honey.
That's a lie entirely.
If they was out to take my food, they'd be sorely disappointed.
When was the
I'm out
last
of
time you
food.
ate
Oh,
nothing?
really?
Oh, just about 10 minutes ago. I just don't carry it on me.
All right, I
Bad
just want to
luck.
make sure because, like, if you ain't eating, I don't mind buying you a meal if you need it.
Oh, I have, like, you know, when you're out on the road, and I didn't know there was a place coming up. Wait, are we in a city or a town? Like, this is bustling neighborhood?
Oh yeah, you're in a large city.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, no, I was just out traveling the barren roads about 10 minutes ago and picked up some grub and ate it, and I'm not hungry. But, so,
At least let me buy
um,
you a drink while we get to know each other.
I do like drinks.
Oh, right. There is one more person that you should meet.
What's that?
Our friend Temple.
Oh?
I was actually just getting to that before our new friend here joined up with us. Unfortunately, Macron, our friend had to take his leave for some family matters. He left a note in his stead.
Oh, no.
Hmm. That is too bad.
I'm sure these two would have been thick as thieves.
Wait! And he kind of like gestures Nalias and Anne. I think it was Anna.
And
Hmm.
Just gesturing like the party and them over, being like, "What about the prophecy? I thought Toba was a part of it."
Like I said, prophecy is very fickle, little one.
maybe the prophecy was more like the group, or maybe they'll come back eventually. I don't know.
We'll just have to play it by ear. But anyway, let's not be rude and whisper around our new friend. That's very bad manners.
I
Can I try
didn't
to
know if
eavesdrop
anyone.
on their whispering?
Oh no.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay, I don't know how to do it in this UI. How do I roll?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not whispering at all. I'm just responding in full volume.
Nalias, why?
According to prophecy. What? Roll the sig. Oh, I'm dying. Okay.
Welcome to the chaos.
It's good to be here. Is that in the? So there's public role. I see that.
Oh,
Right.
you go to your character sheet.
Okay. Wow. Oh, my character sheet. I've closed everything so I could see the window because I got these
Oh.
crappy little eyeballs. So
Yeah, you gotta occasionally open that up.
yeah,
And
it's
then,
Yes.
smartphone.
Yes, Macaron? Do you
try
need
a
something?
perception check. You're gonna roll or click on the D20 that's there.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Some of these stats are incorrect, by the way. Like this
Oh.
one's, it wasn't perceptions. Perceptions is fine, but like for some reason it says my sleight of hand is -1. I have 1 rank into it and a +1 to Dex, or yeah, +2 to
If you
Dex.
have certain armor, it can cause dexterity.
Oh
I have light armor.
no, I forgot. I forgot before we started. I noticed that you're carrying too much for your strength, so you're over capacitated.
that's fair.
I want to
I
give a
think I
fair
asked.
warning. What's up, Bert?
If I'm looking at my character sheet, it says my FCB not equal to level, difference of -1. What the hell is an FCB?
FCB something class. Oh, favorite class bonus. Oh, I see. Let's see. How do we fix that? So like the favorite class bonus
Do I
can
just
either go
add
into
one
your.
to it?
It will. It's a thing where you can either get +1 HP or +1 skill ranks. So you have to choose which one you want.
Skill ranks.
I'll take an extra skill rank, thank you.
Okay. Then did you manage to figure that out?
Yeah,
the
that
one-
fixed it, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
The perception check thing. So I have I've clicked on the little dice roller. I got the little pop up. It says 120, and then there's a situational bonus thing. I don't touch that, right? I just
Oh yeah, no.
public roll and kick it.
Yeah.
Boom, normal.
Said,
Okay, you got
First
11. So like, you hear the word prophecy, but that's about it. Except for anything that Nalius says, then like you hear
Out
that.
loud.
Yeah.
Which, for the sake of brevity, I've already forgotten, so I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear.
Okay. You
hey,
just weren't paying attention enough. It's
Literally, I was like, "Oh, you need your privacy. I don't want to be rude." So.
yeah.
Macron kind of like is trying to get Nalias to whisper this as he goes, I don't know if the prophecy is supposed to be spoken out loud, Kaltoff. That's why it's very important that we whisper.
yes, but you of all people should know how rude it is to whisper in front of new friends. If you like, we can discuss this a little bit later, but right now there is nothing we can do about the situation except try and make the best of it. So why don't, and she's going to stop whispering, smile, and just, why don't we put on our big boy pants and our big girl dresses, and we're going to sit here and we're going to discuss things like good civilized folk.
Since
And
when
we'll
did you
be
become
I ignored
civilized?
the prophecy when he was talking about it, so.
Since when did you become civilized? I'm very confused now.
Excuse
Since
me?
you told me,
Not
you told me it was
Nalias.
unbecoming of a party leader to be starting bar fights. Okay, I am trying my damnedest to follow the guidelines that you suggested, but no. I would love nothing more than to say fuck it, chuck a mug against the wall, and start a good old fashioned brawl in the first thing in the morning as a part of my morning routine. But you told me that
If
wasn't
you
allowed.
want.
Seems a bit
And Nelly has to
charged,
hold up a
doesn't it?
hand which lights up in blue fire. I can start a bar fight if you want.
No, put that down right now. I swear to God, put that away.
Nullius looks at her hand. I can't really put that down, but I suppose...
Put it
Very well,
out in a
I'll
way
turn
that
the
is not
fire
going to
off.
cause damage.
Oi, Nolius, is it? Are
Yes?
you a wizard studying magic then?
No.
No. Unfortunate.
Not really. I'm not one for studying. Not anymore.
Oh, it's so fun. You can just sit in your room, nobody talks to you, you're just reading books. And that's kind of where the
God damn it.
I've
period
done
is.
that for enough years, thank you very
Oh.
much.
So many
And
more.
you can tell that
Love
she is rather done with the conversation entirely.
Oh my
Okay.
god, the more and more he says, the more and more he's Caltot's type. Fuck!
I just, fun to read a book and all that. If you ever want to talk magic, I'm always down for a big. I've always been studious, so it's really once you like me, everyone else seems to like me. Hard to please. It's okay though. I understand.
And
No,
kind of
it's
and
not.
kind of puts her two pointer fingers together above above her chest, and she says so I kind of study magic a little bit.
Oh, see now, that's what I'm talking about. You got something. What? So learned, you mean, right? Not like the blood ones or whatever.
Well, I study the cross between magic and science. I'm an alchemist.
Oh, that is such serendipity. I'm a bit of an artist myself, I like to dabble and tinker and I do a bit of brewing. I can't brew much, okay, but I figured out a lot of the recipes. Got a little cookbook. But um, if you ever want to compare notes or something like that, like always down, always interested. My pen and pad are at your service.
Don't
Oh,
worry too
thank
hard
you.
on Nalias. Nalias is Nalias takes a while to warm up to people. They are very what is the word?
Safe.
Wait,
You
take the grapefruit. And I kind of bop him in the head with it gently.
Macaron looks at him and goes, "See, it took her forever to be able to warm up to me. Now we're great friends, right, Nalias?"
That's bananas because you're so approachable.
Thank you. I try to be. Everyone,
He lit the paperwork I needed on fire.
they,
Oh well.
to be
There's no
honest,
account for paperwork.
they were getting it from wrong sources, and now I am going to help them get their paperwork in proper ways.
You're a good sign of nobility. This is a balanced group. I like the synergies, what it is. That's what you'd call it if you had to call it something.
Caltot is going to push a beer in front of Owen and just, let's get down to business real quick, because I'm sure we could spend all day sitting here gabbing, but I think we'd like to get to know you, and if you'd like to travel with us, maybe you could tell us what exactly it is you're traveling for. Maybe maybe there can be some mutual benefit of sorts.
Oh, yeah. Me, I'm not really all that interesting. I don't have much to talk about. I grew up around my father, and we lived in a cave in a wall, but it was like a nice one. It wasn't like, we were dirty. I'm only dirty now because I'm on the road. When we lived in the cave, it was more of like an internal cathedral, you might call it. It's just elven architecture, real nice. But we lived unbothered. We just stayed. We studied magic. We built together. And then he died. So I was like kind of done with the place and lonely. And that was like 4, 5, 7 days ago, I think. So I'm just out, checking the scene, looking for friends. So that's. If you want to know what books I have read, I can talk about that. But besides that, I'm kind of just like If you want to know, like, more about how I could be useful, I can definitely talk about that, because I just
Now,
realized that I'm not instilling much confidence in a comrade and be like, oh yeah, I used to hang out with my dad and read. Oh good, he's gonna be perfect for this mission.
Hey, I used to hang out with my mom and make like pots and pans and spoons.
I didn't even have a mother.
I didn't have a father.
Oh my. Do you think we might be brother and sister? Are
I am
you
a-
a girl?
Macron kind of like pauses and goes, I don't think I really have a gender.
I
Macron
understand
just
that.
kind of exists in a chaotic good state of being in some days. Other days it's lawful
It's
good, depends on the
But
day.
but you know what we should do? I read a novel once. We should parent trap our family. That way you get a mom and I get a dad.
God. Well, except mine's dead, so we'd have to do some like necromancy to set that up. But I'm game. I want him back, so you know
Maybe
it's in the
my mom-
wheelhouse of
My mom is
motivators.
a warforged. She's like a robot. So perhaps, maybe she can make your dad a new body.
So,
I'm invested in this. I think that's the right thing to do.
alright, well, it seems
I'm
like
writing in
y'all
my
are,
journal. This is my agenda now.
are just hitting off so well. I'm so glad. It's nice to meet a friendly face, and Caltot's actually blushing a tiny bit as she listens to this. And just, well, tell you what, if
Yeah?
my good friends Macron, Nelius, and Anne here are agreeable to the situation, you are more than welcome to travel with us.
You're the leader.
Just because I'm the leader don't mean I'm going to be a dictator. I want to ask your opinion. If you don't want me to travel with us, I want you to be able to tell me. I'm not going to tell you this is the way things are and then not listen to your opinion.
Democracy.
Do you have any issue traveling with someone who's wanted?
This is true. Do you have any problems with traveling with somebody who may or may not, for legal reasons, this is a complete and utter hypothetical scenario, may or may not have issues with the law in certain parts of the world?
Oh no, I don't think I think you lot might be the first people I've talked to since I've buried my father, and before that, he was kind of just my father. So, no, not really much of a record to keep of.
Huh.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well,
That wasn't quite what we asked, but sure, why not?
You know what? You know what? It's a good enough answer as any, and you know what?
Wait, did you ask if I
Oh,
wanted to, if cops was after me, right?
No, not after you, darling. No, I'm just saying if somebody.
We're saying,
Oh.
hypothetically, would you be acceptable traveling with someone who may or may not have committed crimes?
Cops were after you.
shush, no.
You didn't even ask me if I was a criminal, and you was just gonna let me in your party. And you're finding out you're a band of brigands, is it?
No.
No, this is all
no.
a hypothetical.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I
The
jumped
only-
the gun on that one.
The only one
So
who
you're not
would
criminals?
Be, so
No,
the
it depends on the point of.
the only one who might be
Perception, sense motive. What do I have here? I don't have
Yeah,
insight.
sense
Mac-
motive. Sense motive.
Macaron's an
Okay.
honest individual. He's just like, it's not so much that they are running from the law, they are just having a little bit of issues with the law because of how they came to be in this world. I-
Okay, well, I don't need to roll for that. That's preposterous. No, that's a solid excuse. I don't care for the law. I just know that, like, typically people on the farther end of the spectrum of what breaks it, they're typically avoidables, you know. At least is what I've read.
I try
The
not to
history
break the
tells that
law.
tale.
I try not to break the law. I am a very good person. I just kind of
Oh,
ruined
my
their
dear
chance.
sweet friend. I'm so sorry for future you.
Don't worry.
Well-
I believe in redemption. I'll fix you yet.
Redemption! As I swirl my glass of beer and then go back to my conversation. But for the record, no, I don't suppose under those circumstances, which I appreciate more than anything, the forthrightness, and, I believe Kaltov, I think I thought it was picked up, I heard that. was your name, right?
Yeah, my name is Cowtoff. It's nothing fancy or nothing. Just what the ladies at the
No, we're the
the
only ones here, I believe, with an apostrophe in our name. We are fancy.
needless to say, that was the name that I was given by the lovely ladies at the orphanage. But it is
Oh,
what it is.
well.
Yes, Keltoff
It
used to
fits you
work at the
well.
monastery with the nuns.
They weren't very
Oh.
fond of my particular lifestyle choices, but creative differences.
I mean, that's a deity, isn't it? That's why you can't trust them. You always
What?
see them, they always have these rules around, right, with these contradictions. That's the only reason devils can exist, is because there's loopholes in the contract. They need to fix their system. Power to the people.
Macaron freezes as you say.
It's up in the air.
Macaron freezes as you're like, oh, like that. That's the thing with deities and all that. Just looks at Keltoff like, we're people of faith. Like,
Caltech calls and just, you know what? I think we could use a strong, independent individual like yourself with some good head on his shoulders. And this is absolutely not because she may or may not be getting flustered or anything like that. No, this is absolutely because he's a very skillful person.
Keltoff,
Well,
All of my
I'm
abilities I've
going.
told you of so far, which are hanging out with my dad and burying
I'm
him.
going to give you a piece of sage advice, Kaltoff. This is Mags reaching out to you. Dick is not worth your faith. Stop. Behave.
over on you, she's actually asexual.
But yeah, Macaron just kind of thinks for a moment, goes,
Spin.
if we are agreeing to allowing him to join our team, then I think a proper toast should be prepared. And Kaltoff, in the night that we had put you as captain, you said that we told you that you were to pick a name for our team. Have you come up with one?
I came up with a couple ideas that I'd like to run past you, and I want to come up with a couple because I want to just decide. I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to have their say in the matter. I'd hate to be the only one putting my foot down. I'll make decisions when I have to, but I want to make sure that everybody gets their voice heard.
They nod.
So the first idea that I had was the Holy Rollers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one that I had was a little less. I'm trying to think of the best way I can explain this. Not necessarily the nicest, but more accurate to what we have done thus far, and that's the Flaming Fists.
Oh, wait. I think that one's Copy Strike, right?
Macaron.
The Flaming Fist from Baldur's Gate.
Oh shit! I forgot about them. Fuck.
Macaron kind of like opens his mouth to say something, and then lowers like the finger, like the whole like open mouth with the finger up, lowers it, just kind of stops and goes, "Wait, why would we be considered the flaming ones? Considering we didn't start any fires, we only saved people from fires."
But just a fist, right?
Well,
Grabbing you out
to
by
be
the...
fair, I might or might not have allegedly done some throwing of peoples and objects that were on fire. Allegedly.
Obviously.
But you didn't
We've
start the
only been
fire,
convicted.
right, Nalias? You said that the little doll guy started the fire.
Nalias pauses in eating Zamacaron's food. What?
I'm imagining pitbulls just like at this point giving up on stealth altogether, just going ham. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, the fire. It was very tragic.
Goes back to
It was
eating.
really cool, that was.
Very
So
low-key energy.
Macaron thinks for a
shame.
moment.
Anyways.
Well, I think inviting you is going to be a fun opportunity, and I think that we can list out a few names, maybe in a book or some paper, and then we can take a vote.
It might be better that way because I may be good with the hitting things and the carrying stuff, but I'm not as big on the ideas and the word thing.
Very good ideas and writing down things too. Mostly taking care of folks is really what I did. You know, like I said,
Well,
describe.
while Owen's chattering away, Kalatoth pulls out a bottle of whiskey from her cleavage. No idea where she's keeping it because her armor is like skin tight. Pulls out a full bottle of whiskey and just starts pouring one for everybody.
Nalias, I do not drink. You know that.
I am going to ask if I can make a perception check to notice if I caught in my rambling that Kaltoth was pulling drinks out of. Presumably, are we using feminine pronouns?
Yes, she, her.
Okay, out of her cleavage. Is
I
that
don't
is
know.
that
You should try some. I think you might enjoy it.
Mm-mm.
He's asking if the roll would be like if he could roll to notice her pulling it out.
Oh no,
She specifically
Nalias
did
was
it
talking to
when I wasn't looking.
Macaron.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I misunderstood.
But yeah, GM, what is the sad boy rolling?
Oh,
I was trying to maybe I was implying, I guess, like a perception check to see if I noticed Kaltoth because they said specifically pulling it out, and I just wanted to be able to see if I
yeah,
caught
it'd be
on.
a perception.
Okay, because there's only a reason. There's a reason I want to do this, and
Okay.
it's the dorkiest reason.
Yes, do all the dorky
Hey,
shit.
nice. 17. Okay, you
Okay.
notice.
Okay. Hey, you sneaking drinks in the establishment? We've got waitstaff working hand in your fist, serving you drinks, and you sneaking and hooch. You can't be adding to the
No.
recipe. You got all from the bar, right?
Darling, I understand, and I am not that kind of person. I purchased this bottle from the bar last night. I just didn't have room in my pack for it.
Okay, well, if it makes you feel better, like, I'm only asking because, as I've said,
I'm gonna real quick use Mage Hand and just pop an apple in his mouth real quick. You worry too much, friend.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for the apple. And I tuck it in my pack without taking any further bites. And then I'm going to. It tastes good though. I like. What color was the apple?
Oh, I have no idea. I just grabbed one off the table.
It was green. How about that?
All
As a
right.
reminder for anyone who's not familiar with Mage Hand in Pathfinder First Edition, it is invisible, so it looks like telekinesis.
Like an apple just floated into my mouth.
Yeah,
Yo.
Okay, so I don't know how that happened. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
If I had to wager, can I make some kind of a check to discern
So
of my?
I do point my finger at an object. I do have to move my hand to control
So it's
it.
obvious. Okay.
Yeah, if you would have noticed that pulling out the alcohol, you probably noticed this too.
Right. Okay. Cool.
It was a Granny
Then,
Smith.
Yeah. Then we'll play it as it lies, and
Yeah.
I noticed, and I thanked them for the apple instead. And it was a Granny Smith. Oh, the green one's my favorite. You know why? It's because they're tart is what it is. No. So, and I
Oh,
turned
you
back.
like tart things, do you?
Oh, mostly
Eyes
like
go
tart.
between him and Kaltoth.
Oh, what? I was trying to talk to one about the alcohol because so here's the thing of it, right? I have spent my entire life in a cave with my dad, so when I've read a lot of books, everything, I know so many things, right? But here's the thing, so I don't know how true it is. I've not had any experience with it, right? So, quick learner, mind you, I'm not stupid, but sometimes I might ask stupid questions, right? So, when I'm like, hey, how come you got it tucked away here and you sprinkle it in the drink without getting context like that? Helps me make more informed decisions in the future going forward. And building trust in my newfound allies because I don't know if y'all noticed, but I haven't asked a damn question about you lot.
Well, you've asked questions about me.
No, I like
That
it.
is-
Well,
I
no,
mean-
but I'm science, so that's not like suspicion. That's investments.
I completely understand where you're coming from, darling, and under normal circumstances, yes, that would be frowned upon. But since I purchased this bottle last night and I just didn't have any room in my belt pouch for it, it figured safer closer to home, you know?
At least my
You know
hands
what?
close, palms
Just to
together.
mess with him, since Kaltoth did that, Since Nalias is clearly barely wearing
Oh, no.
anything, I'm going to reach into what is basically just like have you seen my character?
I can see their avatar.
If you hover over
And
them, it should
They
pop
look
up.
cool. Oh, hell yeah. Slay Queen.
I'll post it in embed chat. Oh, why did it not go over?
Why isn't this working for me?
So that is
Oh.
my character. So she is really not wearing much.
Hold on. I am trying to figure out how to use the world.
You're
So
valid.
while
huh?
she's since Kalthoff did that, and you're lambasting her about that, I'm going to reach into my outfit and just pull out a grapefruit while grinning at you and just start eating it.
By the way, you can't, if you've seen the artwork, there is nowhere to hide a grapefruit in that clothing.
That is the best way to clarify that statement. I appreciate that. There is nowhere to hide a grapefruit.
She's
Perfect.
wearing a courtesan's outfit, so it's a lot of like shawls and like
Gotcha.
it's not very covering clothing.
Okay, I'll say that there's some impressiveness it comes with a soul. Wait, did we establish? We didn't establish what kind of metagaming. You just said you weren't a wizard. Okay.
Correct.
Could I have assumed or made any kind of type check to be able to sense if they are of arcane in nature and what their like
Yeah,
it
you
is?
you can, based on the spell, like you make a spellcraft check.
Oh, let's go. +10.
Hell yeah.
I didn't cast a spell.
Yeah, you did on your hand.
You did mage hand.
No, I did. Well, so I did mage
No, not
hand,
mage
but for
hand,
pulling
not
the grapefruit
before
out,
that.
wasn't
No,
the
before
spell.
that.
Oh no, the fire you used.
The fire.
Oh yeah, that was Spark.
Yeah.
Spark and mage hand. Yeah.
And I would definitely play it as my character being intrigued with magic in general and being able to perfect the science of it. That I would have been peeping all those moments if I had the perception at the time to get those. And since it's been passed, I'm like, I'd been watching you with interest, but not wanting to invade your space. You know what I mean? I've already been a nuisance, so I'm definitely intrigued. So I'm watching, not in a creepy.
I mean, I'm still leaning on the Great Macaron, so like.
So that's a
But yeah,
17.
you'd be able to tell that was Spark, and you'd be able to tell that it was from an arcane school.
And they said they weren't a wizard, so
my
if powers of deduction would lean to either
sorcerer.
Yeah,
Cleric,
something
clearly.
oddly.
We're holy people, after all.
Either
honestly, that's valid.
Many holes.
Most likely culprit is a sorcerer, though there are the options of like Magus or another half caster that is arcane. But like most likely it's a sorcerer spell, but like I said, you don't know for sure.
Right. Okay. I'm not gonna comment. Owen won't comment on it at this time. They're more just like intrigued more than like suspicious. They understand why they aren't being trusted, and they are vibing with it, but observant.
Who says we don't trust you? I trust you.
I don't have.
Well, it's just
a
less
the-
warm welcome than the rest of the group. So the pattern recognition starts to fire off. It's like speed bump.
I don't have the ability to pull items out of my clothing like they
Apparently,
do.
a uvula, I think it was in an anatomy book I read.
I'm certain I can pull something out of you if that's the case.
Probably my
what
coins.
I believe Malleus means is that there's a lot we can learn about each other, and I'm sure that we can have a much more appropriate conversation in front of these lovely folks here at the Cavern.
Well,
You are
like
so organized. I love it.
I
I'm
said,
really not. I'm just trying my hardest to make a good thing out of a hot mess. I don't usually take charge of this shit. I'm not the kind of person who's meant to be in charge, but you know what? I gotta make the best of it.
You know, that's the dice, right? A figure of speech, of course, not metagaming.
Like, like I had said before, I can't do that. The whole,
Right.
like, pulling a grapefruit or alcohol out of my clothing. But I can do this, and Macaron is going to use his racial feature to become bioluminescent and just start glowing.
Oh
Like, ta-da!
my literal existence. Oh, and I, if it's okay with the DM, I would like to start, because I see there's candles out. I'm going to assume those are in place. I'm going to start pinching out the ones close to us so I can see how bright the luminescence is. Like, just wherever
Okay.
I'm not going to start pissing off staff.
Okay. It's like there's windows that have light coming in, so it's not just the candles. So you can put them out and no one will care.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to pinch them
Seeing
around
what
just
he's
see.
doing, Kaltoth will actually hold her cloak up to create like a little bit of a shadowy area because she's used to people being fascinated by this stuff.
Just adding to the UV filters. Honestly, we're going to get some great photos. Okay.
Macaron just smiles. So it's not written on his sheet for the racial things. I'll have to add either edit those in later or send them to you. As a mythling, I can shed, I believe it is. Let me make sure that I'm not just pulling fucking 5 feet of light, 15 feet of dimmer, and I can change the color to suit my environment.
Wait, you pull from the light around you to do that?
He's bioluminescent, and he sheds about 5 feet, then 15 dim.
Oh, wait, okay, I got you.
And
Okay.
Macaron, like, seeing that you're like, oh my god, that's so cool. Macaron's just gonna go, like, full I think it's RBG, just switching colors.
Just just
we have
flashing,
we have our own
extreme
RGB lamp,
pattern.
basically.
Yes! This is the best thing that I've ever visually perceived in my entire life. Starts flipping through the book and writing notes aggressively. Like, you could hear the pressure that is behind the pencil, and he's even, like, looking up to try to sketch things, but he's not an artist, so it's crude as fuck. But, like, they're doing their best. So,
Macaron,
I imagine that scene from Death Note.
Kaltoth, and Nalias, you have been around Macaron enough. You know how Macaron is. Macaron is eating up the attention because Macaron loves attention. His eyes are sparkly. He's just like, ha! There was going to be a book
Mackie,
with
it
me
looks like
in
you
it.
broke him.
yes.
Good job, Mackie.
I also have the ability that if I lose an arm or a leg or my tail, they grow back.
Oh, that's nifty, because you know what? If I lose mine, I'm pretty sure they're just gone.
I'm pretty sure they're just gone as well. But we can always
I've
test
never
it at
lost
some point.
one, though. We could test it, yeah, under the right conditions, right? We'd want to make sure it's an isolated, safe
Now,
environment.
as fascinating as talk of dismembering ourselves is, our whiskey's getting warm, folks. I believe Macron mentioned a toast to welcome our new member. Is that correct?
Oh,
I will toast, but I will toast with my water. And he picks up his cup of water.
Okay, Kaltoth will take the shot of whiskey that she poured from pour it into hers and just hold it up and like, I ain't good with words. They may want to say something.
I'm gonna use prestidigitation just to mess with Macaron and change his water to taste like whiskey.
So mean.
As Macaron holds up his cup and he says, "Cheers to new friendships and new adventures."
cheers, you know? And I hold up the drink.
And
Yes,
holds up,
cheers.
I
and
will
holds up a
gladly
drink.
drink to that.
Who, the Holy Rollers, was it?
Holy
We're going to
Rollers
circle
pending.
that airport and we're going to come back to it?
Yeah, Holy Rollers pending approval, basically.
DM, right.
Might have to consult about HR.
I think that's also copy strike, isn't it?
To new friends and whatever happens on the road ahead.
Macaron clinks the glass, takes a sip, and immediately just says,
Is everything all right?
Oh, Macaron, look at that. You grabbed the wrong glass. Here, and I'll hand him the other one that Kelton poured out. Here's your water.
Macaron's just like staring at the cup, just like, oh my god, that was the most foul tasting water I've ever seen. I've ever tasted.
Here, use this to wash out the taste.
Caltop throws back the whiskey like it's water. No whiskey face, no nothing. Just throw back, shot glass upside down, the whole nine.
I don't know if...
So you know what? Hilariously enough, for the whiskey, I'm going to use prestidigitation to get rid of the whiskey taste and make it taste like water.
Macaron kind of like looks at the cup that he had just drank from as he said, you must have grabbed the wrong cup. And Macaron's like, either that or... And he's kind of like swishing the water around. Either that or... Maybe this is a sign from the gods that this is a bad idea. And he just places the cup down. I'm good right now.
Oh.
And he just shoves like bread in his mouth.
I promise. It may seem like a lot, Owen, but we have the best intentions. That being said, we have the best intentions, don't we, Nalius?
Eyebrows with each inflection.
And I say this because most of y'all know what I mean. It's the Texas eyebrow raise.
Oh yeah.
Nalius just raises both eyebrows and grins while leaning on top of the great macaron. Oh, of course, the greatest of intention.
On that note, we are going to call a BRB real quick.
Okay.
We are getting close to like the 2-hour marks and stuff, so we will be right back.
Players need 5.
Yeah.
We'll be right back, folks. Wow.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought
So
everyone was gonna.
Cam is a special case.
Penis.
I'm
See,
kidding.
very special case. So Macaron's gonna kind of look to the group and go, "All right, we've asked a lot of questions. Why don't you ask them, so you can get to know your new party?"
Yeah. So like I said, I lived in a cave with my dad. Blah blah blah. All that. This and that. Recapping. So I've only had exposure to books and, holograms and different little tinctures and ways and scrying eyes and such to view the rest of the world. So I think if I had to ask you anything, is like, in your experience with books, how 1-to-1 do you say the ratio is?
The ratio of what?
Of like what's written in books about things. So, like, for instance, reading books on decorum and society. I've read here you're not supposed to bring outward drinks into an inward establishment, right? And then Kaltoth educated me on the practice of buying an entire bottle and nestling it in your bosom. It's practical as what it is. And so that's a learned thing that wasn't in a book. So now I'm freaking out a little bit, trying to figure out how much the world isn't books. How much books isn't the
Very
world?
little of it.
Oh my
Not necessarily.
science.
It all kind of depends. Did you read fiction or non-fiction?
Yes.
Well,
Most
Like I said,
both.
most of the fiction things are probably questionable, and it will vary from what kingdom you travel to.
More of
and-
a Venn diagram than parts that are
So-
real, parts that aren't, but mostly overlap and not
Mostly-
true.
Like I said, it depends on which kingdom you go
Oh.
to. Some kingdoms
It's just-
are not okay with certain practices, and some kingdoms are.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. So, like, there's societal implications on a level where I thought I was learned and understood. Okay, so I guess if I had a question for you as individuals about this, are you, in the same way that I've kept an open mind about entertaining the company with people who may or may not be on the run from the law, question mark, quotation marks,
Allegedly.
do you, allegedly, allegedly, do we, being you,
doing what?
have a problem with travelling with a bit of a dum-dum who might make some really awkward moments happen out of my own mistaught and learned shit, because I've been around for a while, but not enough in the world I'm really worried I might make a bit of shit of myself, in front of all you, and, well, you're first and only friends I got, so I'd rather not lose you, if that's possible.
Macaron.
You're young.
I have a DM to send to DK real quick.
Macaron.
Just for
You're all
background
young.
info.
Macaron's
They're killing my
smiling at
character.
this.
No, I'm just kidding.
Macaron's gonna
Just,
smile at this.
FYI.
Mags is side-eyeing Kaltoff so hard right now.
Shut up. Now, darling, we ain't one to judge a book by its cover. Well, most of us, and she's gonna glance at Nalius.
Oh,
But-
I can judge a book by its cover. It's more just the fact that most of you are children to me.
Anyways, having been that we are just now getting to know each other, I think it's fair to say that we have to take time to get to know you and do the person to person thing where you just kind of suss each other out, feel each other's emotions and vibes and all that other stuff, and just kind of see where you go from there. Does that make sense?
I don't mind if you have questions about the world and if you're not too versed in it. If anything, I feel like this is a good opportunity for me as someone who wishes to become a hero one day to help educate those who have questions and are confused with things.
Well, that open-mindedness is really refreshing, because as I've come out, like, this was my first encounter, right, with actual people that I could talk to and have friends with, right? But there were a couple of times out in those 7 days on the road where I ran into some ruckus that made me less excited to be out there in the world with other people. So, to be around folks like yourself who want to embrace a folk like me as dirty and ragged, with only I can speak goblins and maybe he, come in a pinch with or something. It's just very. It inspires a lot of hope. So, even though you're the holy rollers, and I'm not crazy about like holy myself.
Nalius is just gonna pinch the bridge of her eyes and just sigh deeply.
Nalius, why don't you?
We're not called that.
It is a pending name. It's something that is
Oh.
on the table, but we are not fully set on it. For now, we'll say that we are called. No, let's just call each other the buddies for now, until we come up with a proper name and sign up with a guild.
I think that's
That sounds like a good plan.
good business acumen is what it is, You don't just start a project, you plan a project and then you execute. So yeah, no, that makes sense.
But what about the buddy system?
Yeah, that could
What's that?
work.
Do we need a
Call
party
ourselves
name?
buddy system.
Oh, the buddy system. But then I feel like as if we're all compelled to be buddies, which we are, but I mean like individually with one-to-one relationships between the hierarchy of us. No. This with the 5, it's an odd number. It leaves us like, no, that actually adds a variable. You can continue the formula to continue and add on 1. It's a matrix. We can all be friends forever.
I would love to be
more
friends
than happy to be
forever.
friends with you forever.
I just did the math.
I would be more than happy to be considered your friend forever, honey.
Oh, well, that's great because the only ones I got, so the honour is all mine, miss.
Nakaron's
Oh,
gonna
I
look
will.
at. Nakaron looks at Nalios, just like, you hear that? We're gonna be friends forever.
Hear that, Nalia?
Oh, joy.
You know what that means? Nakaron takes out a pen.
Oh, please tell me, sweetheart.
Nakaron takes out pen and paper, and he's like, I will get started on the matching capes right away. And he starts doodling.
All right. Well,
Nalias looks down at her shawl. I'm not quite sure a cape will suit my outfit, but very well.
I'm sure we could find some way to make something that would fit with your aesthetic. Now, I do have a couple of questions. You said you've been traveling for about a week or so?
Well, yeah, just since then, basically.
Now, you said you were jumped by some unfortunate folks. Which ways do you know that was?
Oh, fuck, Jim. Where am I? Where's south? Where's
Let's see. You are.
where do I
where
live?
are you?
Just
In a
pick
place.
some local miscreant group. Basically, essentially, I had some run-ins with some either inner city or slightly outer city thugs, but I don't know anything about this geography to I just wanted to put it out there that I had seen an uglier side of humanity before I had experienced this kinder side amidst a group of, albeit consciously sus group of people, but but y'all seem pretty safe.
Yeah, no, it was more of a case of Caltel's just trying to suss out if it's on the way of where they gotta go, stuff like that. But if it's just some random fucking wannabe punk kids or whatever, then it's probably not going to be in the way of our thing that we're doing.
Yeah, we'll say it was out in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah, some we'll call it out of the way just to make it convenient for plot, because I just wanted to pepper it in to as flavor for it's a hard knock life.
Also, not low key Kaltoff being like, if we happen to run into these people, I'd like to have a chat with them.
So,
I mean, if I see them, I'll definitely point them out. I'm not opposed to justice,
Oh
I
no, and that is absolutely fair. And the monastery that I was at was very keen on just desserts, and she flexes a little bit. Her leather armor creaks a little bit, and she's just like, "I've got just and desserts right here." And she holds up left arm, right arm.
Wait, they weren't just
I'm-
keen on just desserts. They were also good with like breads and meats and
Macron, buddy.
I'm following this so. This is such a like an anime in my head right now. Like just the absolute like boudoir, like whatever. Just like just the glamour shot of flexing and the sparkles and everything, and then the reality check
Full
of like
Eloquence
that there's
Omicron.
also rules and process, and we have a system. Just the juxtaposition is so pleasing.
She may be half human, but she's also half orc, which means that she still is very proud of her muscles.
I might be a sheltered little, well, not little. Well, no, I am little. I'm 5'6". Short
Hurt
king.
your soul.
Yeah, there's not an ounce of him. I don't think that didn't physically latch onto the fact that there was creaking leathers and muscles flexing. Like it's all impressive though, and it's just like,
Oh my god.
okay, and then glass to lips and just kind of like takes a swig, but like a gentle one, not like a power jug, but doesn't set it down.
Macaron not getting this like little hints, just like, oh, are we showing off muscles? Because Macaron is also like strong as shit, just starts flexing. Ah.
I turn with my glass, but also because I'm ambidextrous, I start writing notes in my left hand. And you can hear me talking through the bubbles. It seems to have a more musculature in form with the humanoid. Just like through my beer.
Kaltov immediately shotguns like the 3/4 of her tankard and immediately flags down the waitress for another. Just like, oh fuck, please help. She is not good with people.
Oh, and
Especially ones that she is interested in.
I think that there is an important question for all of us.
Okay.
What would that be, Macron?
Within this group, what is your life goal?
Oh,
yeah.
A goal. What we are doing can be considered a mission, but what is truly your goal in life? What would you like to do? It doesn't even have to be your like permanent life goal. It could be just your current goal. Perhaps we can help.
nice. Thank you. It's very forthwith of you. Makes me really feel like one of the family here. But
Well, we are working on becoming brothers, right?
yeah, I never had brothers, and whether in arms or genetically or whatever, like
I can
it's a
be
camaraderie.
your brother. Kaltov can be the mom. Nalias can be like the aunt.
You mean Kaltov can be my mommy?
Fuck! Kaltov actually like chokes on her beer when that's said out loud.
If Kaltov wishes to adopt, I know a great place where we can get adoption papers.
Well,
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's focus on the getting to know each other and figuring out our dynamic in the group and everything before we jump to conclusions. How do we do that? Over here.
Macaron is gonna lean in and go, I didn't hear a no. We are setting things in stone.
okay,
We are
well,
setting things in stone.
as an alchemist, I propose we start with wood just to make them more malleable. You can wet it, you can dry it out.
You know that
It's
is
malleable,
true.
it's flexible. And
That
then
is
we'll set
true.
it in stone and then steel and so forth.
Oh,
and all
I'm
that.
really good at working with steel.
I'm okay at working with a bunch of shit, but like steel's one of them. So maybe I could learn a thing or two from you if you want. I can learn so much from you just from you existing, and then about stuff.
I know about a lot of things that my mother has taught me. She taught me steel working and blacksmith works. I can sew. I can cook. I am very, very reliable in times of need.
I know I used to could cook. I can't really. I'm thinking about it now, but I don't think I can remember how to cook.
I'm sure we can find a way to help jog that memory. If not, you can always, learn some new skills as we go.
Yeah, just weird.
Be careful with
She is no
Nalias's
longer.
cooking.
Yeah?
I don't think she's really cooked for herself. And be careful with Keltoff's cooking.
Kaltos is
Weird.
no longer drinking the beer. She is drinking her whiskey straight out of the bottle.
Nalias looks down. I don't have to cook.
I have people for that.
I know, I tend to cook for us.
Slay bestie.
I can pull fruit out of my clothes.
But you need more than just fruit in order to sustain your life. You need a balanced meal. That means proteins and carbs and different vitamins.
Mineral. I don't know. I just
My
know
dear,
vitamin.
the fruit I pull from my sash keeps me fed for a full day.
Yeah, but don't you ever want like a kebab or something? Like some bell pepper and onion? You put a bit of lamb on there on the end. Because most people are going to go pork, steak, or something that's basic, right? You put a little lamb on there. It's like you're on a stick, you can just snack it up. What I've been
Ooh.
told.
Or I could have fruit from back home, which I can't get here.
Oh, that is absolutely worth it. Just to be able to feel home again.
Well, we will be your new home. And he kind of like pats you on the shoulder.
Well, I like that, because the other one was fucking boring, right? It's there the whole time. Like, I want something new. So, this is the best of all worlds.
So we'll start simple. Keltoff, what is your current goal?
I ain't thought about that much now that I think about it. Honestly, I'd have to say my current goal that I'm really working towards, and other than, not dying, because that's kind of an important part of it. Honestly, I just want to get stronger to protect the people I care about. If I can get to that point and finally settle down someday, maybe have a nice little home, maybe if something happens and there's a Mr. or a Miss or a non-binary partner in there somewhere, maybe a couple of rugrats running around, something like that might be nice. But right now, I just want to focus on protecting those that I care about.
Mm-hmm. And you? Kind of looks at Owen.
Yeah. You want to know what drives me then?
Yes. What is your current goal? What drives you to get out and adventure? Besides, your dead dad.
Right. Besides the obvious, right?
You could be a
Well,
little more tactful about it.
oh no. I've had plenty of time to process it. It's been 7 days. So, the way I see it, we have full life together. There were parts I remember, right, and parts are good, and the parts I don't, and I think my main motivation is to go out and I know it sounds stupid or whatever, but like,
No goals are stupid.
besides my dead dad, it is my dead dad. I think maybe like we was on to something, he and I. We was working really hard on a lot of really brilliant ideas. And I think with his notes and my research and my studiousness, and hopefully my comrades, maybe I can fix what was wrong. Because honestly, when it happened, it felt like such a moment that I can't recall a lot about my life. I'm not sure where the beginning and now meet. I just remember him falling and everything up to now. So I think the only logical approach to this situation is to keep an open mind
Well,
and follow open hearts.
well, we definitely have many open hearts here. And I'm not the best when it comes to the arcane, but I am good with spellcrafting. So perhaps I
What
can
it's
help in
worth.
that area.
So am I, and I would love to corroborate on everything that we have in common, because it sounds like you and I have a very not alchemical, I apologize, I do not mean to step on the craft. I am more of the artifice, more mechanical, engineering. But if you want to bring some of that bio-warfare to the mix, maybe we can cook up something.
Now you're
Nod.
speaking my language.
Nods. Well, I am good with metalwork. You are that of an artifice.
Artificer.
I've only ever read it, so I'm not. Damn it! I'm doing the texting again. I've
I
only ever read it,
believe,
so I don't
believe
know
it's
how
called
to
artificer.
pronounce. I think
No.
it's artificer.
Artificer.
No, I think it makes the ch sound like a Italian. I'm just gonna opt to pronounce it wrong. No, I'm just
That's okay. Macaron, being a sea creature, opts to say it wrong as well.
wonderful. None of us will say it right the entire campaign, and that's okay with me because I always struggle with it.
Nalias, Macaron looks over to Nalias. And what about you, Nalias? What is your current goal? Not something that is lifelong, because I know you're one of your longer term goals, but your current goal.
I suppose finish breakfast.
That is a very doable goal. Macaron's nodding. It's a very doable goal indeed. I guess for me, my current goal is... make a name for myself in this town. That people know that if they ever see my face, they are free to come up and ask for help whenever they need.
Ian says, my goal is, I don't know, I don't really have a goal, I'm just kind of adrift.
Macaron kind of places a hand on her shoulder and kind of leans in to whisper and goes, I think one of your major goals is to help us with the prophecy, right?
Yes, that's, I mean, it's not high on my priority, but it is somewhere there.
And we are glad to have you on the team. Right,
Thank
remember
you.
you are.
She stops whispering and says, I guess I just want to discover more about the world. That's my goal.
That's an honourable goal. I'm can vibe with that personally. Like, that's half of what I'm doing is verifying what I've read in books. I know a lot.
Nalias looks up very
I don't know a
carefully
lot.
at that. You should be careful exactly what of the world you're trying to find. Some things are better left forgotten for a reason.
That's valuable sage advice.
Nalias
what?
is very wise.
Can you give us an example, just so that I can avoid it? What's that look like? Because I've been in a cave, so like, obviously, I could either trust my dad or I didn't. But like I did, and it seemed to work out fine. So, how will I get taken advantage of?
Well, if
Not
Your
really
new
taken
thing-
advantage of. It's more that the world has forgotten some things. There are ruins out there, things that have been lost to time, rather than people, as it were. And sometimes you need to be careful that investigating and finding out more about the world is fine,
Yeah.
but there comes a point where the world wants certain things to be forgotten, and it will actively keep those things forgotten.
See.
Better to be
And-
safe, is all I'm saying.
Anne
Owen writes that
says,
down in their book. Thank you.
and says, well, I mean, yeah, but some things people invent are pretty useful. Take my invention, for example. I didn't mention this before, but I'm somewhat of a tinker and inventor myself. I invented this explosive substance I call gunpowder, and it's starting to be more widely used.
Well, I really appreciate the knowledge share, and I think that we should absolutely collaborate, maybe in a group effort. Macaron over there knows how to work the metals. I've got a dabble in a bit of all of it. You've got your specialties. There's no telling what I can do.
We are going to make
Yeah.
such a crazy and amazing team.
I think I'm very excited, but like, so I've heard what motivates you as individuals, but like, as some, as somebody whose dad just died and then got jumped in the street for 7 days. No, excuse me. So like, what brought you together? How did you meet? What is your story like? What brings about a group of people so trusting as to find a person like me, a bit of a ragamuffin, if we're being honest?
Well, me and Koltak, we go back a ways. When she was studying with some nuns, I was studying, I was training and fighting within the monastery as well. Our god is, Sid, you're gonna have to remind me how it's pronounced. I know the god, I just,
Let's see.
Iomade?
Gods.
I forgot where I kept the names of them.
here, I'll put it in my thread again.
Okay.
The goddess of, like, courageousness.
Oh, right.
Yeah, god of courage. Let's see. Just pronounce it. Oh, Fin. I can't remember if it's Finlay or Finlay.
I think it's Finlay.
Finlay.
That's
Finlay.
Finlay.
Our goddess is Finlay, the goddess of courage and courageous acts. And then I set out on a trip, and I had left Koltak behind for a bit while she worked within the monastery, and I got a job to investigate some pirates who were selling fake documents, and that's where I met Nalias. She told me a bit of her story and how I kind of messed it up while I was taking care of the pirates, and I have agreed to help her. And then we all kind of met up on a ship when we were heading to an island to do some investigations. And I met up with Koltek again, and we met a really fun goblin named Turbo. And then the island got caught on fire because there were these creepy doll things that were attacking everyone and stealing people at night and all that. And we fled here.
Did you say for a minute there you had a goblin friend?
Yes, his name was
We
Turbo.
did. That was the note that we had you try and help us read. Just turns out it was bad penmanship.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh no, he's not hurt or nothing like that.
No,
No, he's
no.
just got he's got to
I'm
take
not-
care of some stuff back in the homestead.
I'm not upset for you. I'm upset for me. I I've read so much goblin language. I've studied. It's one of my favorite languages to pronounce because it sounds so fun in your mouth. It's like flicking around a hard candy of it's everything that it's just so fun to do. I was really hoping to meet a real life goblin.
Well,
There was a
I
part
can
of me.
guarantee you that at some point we will have you meet a real live goblin. They're a lot more common than you might think. It's just you got to know where to look for them.
I've never seen one in my entire life.
You know,
That's
I
a
would
statement
be
that rings
interested-
true for everything, by the way. So, you know.
I would be interested in learning how to speak Goblin. In return, I can teach you how to speak Axolotl.
Consider it a debt to each other. I'm
Damn,
talking
that was
Texan
a
again.
weird voice.
Yeah,
like
I'm from the south.
Like the moment
No.
a deal is being struck, a demon takes over his body. Consider it a debt.
Okay, you know what? This is very devil went down to Georgia, and I don't like it. I want get this motherfucker out of our party right now. He is the Amityville horror.
Macaron holds their hand out to you.
And if I can remember my accent.
It
It's
was
Cockney.
like this.
What?
It was
We talked
very
at the
like
same
this.
time. Oh no, you go.
It was very much like this.
It was
Okay,
Cockney.
thank you. I struggle with it a bit. I've had some dialect coaches in my life. Punch me in the head, I guess. I got no.
So Macaron will hold his hand out for
I'm
this.
also going to hold my hand out.
Macaron will take your hand and start to shake it, and as he does, he's gonna like light up just a little bit. As I'm going to cast Divine Sense. I believe that's a thing here. Is Divine Sense a thing in
I
this game?
I don't-
is it sense aura? Is that what or
Oh, what's this supposed to do again? Oh,
Divine
it's supposed to like give me an idea of if there's any like demons or fey creatures or stuff nearby.
oh.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
All I got is detect evil. I'm gonna detect
yeah,
evil.
that's- Okay.
Hell
Just to be safe. At will, a paladin can use detect evil as a spell. A paladin can, as a action, concentrate on a single item or an individual within 60 feet to determine if it is evil. Learning the strength of its aura as if having studied it for 3 rounds while focusing on the individual or the object. The paladin does not detect evil in any other object or individuals within range.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Pathfinder version of it.
Yeah. I'm
Sweet.
gonna detect evil and know the strength of your evil aura if you are evil.
Don't tell them that I'm the devil.
You can either DM it or like tell
No,
have
vibes.
Sid tell you.
I'm
No,
invested. Do it. Roll the dice.
I don't have to roll. It's just something that I can
No,
do.
it's
Oh,
just yeah,
Oh,
it's
I love paladins.
automatic sense. If some you might be able to hide it in certain ways if you were evil, but because you're
I'm
not,
not. Fucking
nothing's gonna be detected. Yeah.
Hang out in a hole with my dad.
Yeah, but I don't know if like you
No.
have if you
You're
have
a million
like evil
life.
practices, because it says learning the strength of the aura as if studying you for about 3 rounds. So Macron's kind of like sensing is what you're doing intentionally evil? Are you, without realizing it, because you seem to be forgetting memories and stuff, are you evil?
I think that's valid. As shit as the player who like also wants to know, am I affected by evil? I don't
I guess-
remember my past.
I guess
Oh.
Sid, message me.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me.
DM that, so there's no accidental metagaming on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
I'll
ahead
respond
and...
to it.
While Macron is doing that, Kaltoth puts her whiskey bottle back in her cleavage. Again, still trying to figure out where the fuck it goes, because that leather is fucking tight.
Mm.
And she just kind of stands up, cracks her spine, cracks her neck, does the knuckles to the jaw and just pop each side. And just, well, without further ado, we have spent quite a bit of time here. We should probably think about hitting the road pretty soon if we want to make our, I don't know what you would call him, our employer, benefactor. I don't know where the fluff we sit with this guy that's asking us to do the thing, but we probably don't want to keep him waiting too long.
Well, I'm a big fan of expediency myself, but who's this Okay, metagaming a little bit. Was I around when that conversation was happening and I'm just like
That
dumb
was
and I
no,
can't
that was
remember?
from the night before.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
Uh,
So I don't know the
Also,
guy.
one thing that Owen will notice is when Kaltos stands up, she is in fact 6'4", 6'5", and built like a tree trunk.
That is a, that is definitely taller than the only other being that Owen has been around, his father. And trust me, they're not tying resemblances. There is no Freudian theory. There, Owen, in the same way that scientifically he was in awe of Macaron,
hmm
um, and like genuinely like vestedly interested, not just scientific. I don't want to make it sound so cold. It's
hmm
I only care about people because of science, but like there's a happiness with being accepted, but also a scientific intrigue. Versus with Kaltoth, like they're okay-ish at orc, and they had only ever read stories about them so to see one so like let's bring it back fetch um
hmm
as Kaltoth has Owen in their feelings, we'll say that. And uh so very much to that end, like uh you know what, I forgot the end of that sentence. It's a mystery now. No,
she has that effect on people.
I vibe it.
As you shake Macaron's hand and you let go to continue on as speaking with Kaltoff and such, your back turned to speak with Kaltoff, consider she's over there and Macaron's right here. uh with Nalias leaning on Macaron kind of like is staring at the back of Owen's head, and there's a look of a little bit of shock and a little bit of confusion as he looks at his hand.
And notices
I zoned out.
and notices you staring and says, "Is something the matter?"
Macaron just looks it over, gives a smile, looks up at Nalias and goes, "Shall we begin the day? And head on out to meet with the person who is hiring us." I think it was like what? The president of this area?
I believe it was the emperor of this country, land, whatever boundaries they use here. I'm still getting used to the local lingo and everything, but yeah, no, it was the emperor that we spoke to last night. I believe he wanted to meet with us to give us some more information, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I had quite a bit to drink last night, and I vaguely remember something about a bar brawl, but that might have also been a dream that I had.
And you was also drinking a bunch just now, right? Because you put a bunch in your drink just now.
Oh, that's just my morning top off, darling.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with the current state of things.
No, not at all. Totally not her getting
Love it.
flustered and being like, fuck, how do I talk to people?
And says, I think the emperor just was giving us information about these ruins of power that he wanted us to investigate."
Right,
That's not
right.
suspicious.
All
Well-
right. In order from first letter to last letter, who spoke? And let's go now.
I-
Because we all spoke at the same time.
A, B,
C,
No, I'm just
D,
kidding.
E, F, G, H, I, J. It'd start with
I don't know the
Cam.
alphabet.
It'd start with Cam, because Kaltoff. It'd go
Yeah.
Cam, Nalias, Owen, Mac.
Your brain is appreciated.
She has the other form of the spicy brain shit. I have the spicy brain shit of ooh, what dat?
I got the one with the numbers and the music and stuff, and then it stops.
I legit had to go A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R.
Yeah.
I mean, I still
Yeah.
don't think it's to be trusted, but very well.
I just didn't even try.
Macaron nods as he goes, well, you know, if it's not to be trusted, then the best things that we can do is practice the old saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
And given the circumstances of our discussion, I wouldn't even say meeting because he wasn't necessarily here per se, but given the way that things went down last night, I plan on going with a little bit of caution to begin with because I'm sorry, a man who ain't got the balls to show his face in person and has to rely on a message to do it, I'm not sure if he's got balls to begin with, but I ain't going to judge, but going with a little bit of caution.
Listen. Sorry.
It was complicated. We thought he was here, but he wasn't, but he was, and there was a whole, like,
Oh, what a
not
coward
silent
move.
image that was silent kind of thing.
Actually, I think it was really amazing because it was some form of magic that he was able to, like, make a version of himself be able to walk around the town without having to leave wherever he was. That is some powerful magic.
Was he able to interact with anything, or was he just an illusion?
I think he
An
was.
illusion.
He was just an illusion at first, to be honest.
Well,
but could you imagine what would happen if you learned that spell and you improved on it?
I do. You're on to something. You might be on to
Macaron,
something.
you're forgetting something very important.
Was it? Oh, sorry. I'm not Macaron.
Why the hell would the Emperor of whatever nation, I mean no offense, come find the four of us, which at this point are nothing more than random people?
Can I make a nobility roll and see if there's any connection that a royal would do this?
Yeah. So go ahead and give me that nobility roll, and I'll tell you which.
Can I do one as well?
I don't know what it means by take 10, take 20.
I also don't.
Oh, that's like,
Take 10.
if you're not like under stress, on some skills you can take a 10, and like just take, so say like you're just gonna give it your average, rather than having to roll for it. So if you know you'd pass it with a 10, you could just roll a 10.
So
on
if you have the
certain
option
things.
to take 20, that means like you can take 20?
Take 20 is like, if it's a guaranteed, like, if it would be a guaranteed success, like instead of having to give guaranteed success, you do, well, take 20, and then
Okay. So what am I doing? Am I taking any of these, or am I just doing normal roll?
So, if you open up your character sheet, there's a tab for skills. You'll
Yeah.
have knowledges for various things.
Yeah,
You'll see
I know.
There's a knowledge nobility that you can roll.
I know.
No,
I clicked the nobility
Max-
skill check, and it has an option for me to take 10 or take 20.
yeah,
So
just
I'm
do a
asking-
normal roll.
Okay. I was just asking if I needed to take any of those or if normal's fine. 18.
Gotcha.
It's usually for like if you needing to do something like climbing, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna take extra time to do it. So like instead of taking like one round and then possibly falling, you take like 5 rounds, then you take a 10, so that you're guaranteed to climb
Okay.
up the rope.
Okay.
And
It's for
for
stuff
what
like
it's
that.
worth, I need you to know that, like, as a player, I appreciate you asking, because I just cowardly just clicked normal without asking, but I had the exact same burning question in my head, and I was like, just pick normal because you don't want to be confrontational. So
Yeah.
thank you for
Take-
being
Bitch, I will be all the confrontational.
yes.
To be fair,
Thank you.
there are also some class abilities that will specifically say that you're allowed to take 10 or take 20 for them. So
Yeah.
if you ever have one of those, you know that right off the bat, but that will be listed by the ability. I think
Okay.
Bard has a couple, Rogue.
Okay.
Those are just the ones I know off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Well-
everything that's not listed as you can take 10 is up to DM discretion.
Nice.
Macaron got a 18.
Okay. Nalius doesn't quite know with that roll much other than that this is that was the Emperor of Lachlan, which is the empire that you're currently in. The Great Macaron would know that. So what's his name? Alex, I think. Yeah. His name is Alex, and he's known to be kind of kind-hearted, like showing people have cited him in like random places, like helping people. In contradictory too, because there'll be like someone in one town that's like, oh, I saw him like Friday night, helping an orphan, and then someone else will be like, I saw him in this other town
Hitting an orphan.
on Friday. No, not hitting an orphan, but like
Because that's
saving
not
a kitten,
suspicious.
or like saving a kitten or something. So it's like he seems to be in multiple places at the same time. And
Clearly, he's evil.
So
Same.
Macaron's getting
And-
this is remembering that this man has been known to split his consciousness and such in order to spread a bit more caution to his people where he can actually interact with them, such as finding someone who can help some people that are in need here, finding someone who can help some people in need there, find someone who can get a cat out of a tree. So he's just kind of
Yeah.
roaming around looking for good citizens to ask for favors and help around the kingdom.
Yeah, and you know that he's kind of a magic geek as well. Like he tends to be fascinated by magic.
From what I understand about this nation, the king is... the emperor is not so much is able to fight much himself, for he is a proprietor of the arcane arts, but he tries his best to ensure that his kingdom that no one is left without aid. So he often acts as a errand man for his kingdom, going to different places, seeing if, oh, this person has a cat in a tree. I will inform the local guards that are in this way. This person on the other side is currently struggling carrying their groceries. I can find a good-hearted citizen to help them. I don't think it's so much that he is a coward. It's so much that he's so focused on making sure that everyone within the kingdom is safe and in good terms that he splits himself so often. And he needs to find people to help. I don't
You'd
think that
also
is cowardly at all.
know, yeah, you'd also know that he is, I believe he's a from the race of borrowers, however you say it, BAR, borrowers, who are usually more like rural bound, and like the nobility, the other nobility in the empire is basically exclusively sea folk. So
Tea-folk?
so you know that they look down on him as not being a sea folk, and that he has to kind of he has political.
Who the
He has
fuck is
political
revving a
enemies.
goddamn motorcycle
Right?
through the town? Someone needs to get a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
There's children that go to school here. Blow your roll.
It is also possible that with the current racial buildup of the city, he doesn't feel quite as comfortable being out and about, for perhaps his kingdom doesn't see him as fit to be a ruler because of his race. I think what he's doing
Or
is
maybe
noble.
he's just on the more paranoid side.
That is possible, but I think that what he's currently doing, ensuring that his people are safe no matter if he can't be there himself, is very noble.
and you didn't roll high enough to know exactly like how he became into power, but you know that the only reason why certain people respect him is because he's very powerful.
He has to be powerful for his kingdom to respect him and to be able to constantly have himself shifting through the different areas in the town. I say,
Yeah, no, I still think it's suspicious.
you can think it's suspicious. That is perfectly fine. But I wouldn't talk bad about him for so much. There's plenty of kingdoms out there whose nations don't care about their people enough. Often those going into poverty and poor and not caring whether or not someone has bread on their table. I think what he does is noble, in a sense.
Valid, very valid observation. Very astute and open-minded. I like that. That's giving me a lot to think about. I don't know who this is, but
Everyone
that's
is
a
good.
valid observation.
Everyone's intentions are good until proven otherwise. And if they are proven otherwise to be bad, Macron pulls out his hammer. We fix it. Simple.
And see, they got a hammer for that. Look at that. What do you fix a problem with? A hammer.
Exactly.
So you know. Good.
For reference, by the way, in the embed chat, this is how Macron looks going into battle. This is his hammer size comparison to him.
Let me see.
Wait, is that cute? It's not. Not what I thought it was. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, that.
You know what?
Traumatized.
I just realized what your voice is making me think of. Huh? So
Man.
I get it's the Cockney accent, but like
Oh yeah.
the specific way you're doing it is making me think of these two guys from the Box Trolls.
Oh, that's an honor and a privilege because I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele, but I actually haven't seen Box Trolls yet.
Oh, it's so good.
But that gives me motivation to watch it now, so I can see how good I'm ripping them off. No, I love that.
Well, let's go speak with him and see if there's anything we can suss out if he is not trustworthy on, or if he's just simply willing to help us in our endeavors. After all, he asked us to, this is good. This is very good because you, and he points at Owen, you are a man of arcane runes, you had said. He wants us to look at some runes.
Oh yeah, no, I can look at runes. I'm really good at reading runes and all that. Reading magic in general, kind of.
No, not runes, ruins. Which, Macaron, like I said, there are certain things best left. There's a reason I find him suspicious.
Who?
He's
Me or
supposed to
the
be
ruin?
leading the nation. If he's supposed to be leading the nation, why is he going out of his way to do these things other than leading the nation?
Well,
That's a
let's
sign
figure
of
it
a
out.
bad leader.
Not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Some leaders, maybe there's something that the kingdom doesn't know, and therefore he wants to find better aid in for his kingdom. Perhaps someone told him that there's a place to get aid. Perhaps in here is rumored something that could aid the kingdom. It all matters of how he uses it and what his intentions are. And we can't figure that out unless we do it. Friends close, enemies closer after all.
And if it's anything about conflict that might arise, I can assure you that at least as far as the physical goes, I can make sure no harm comes to either of you, as well as my good friend Macaron here.
How about this? We suss out the situation. We see what he might be able to give us. And we take it from there. There's nothing that we can do outside of actually going and figuring it out that will help us determine whether or not this is good or bad. Plus, and Macron's gonna give Nalias big puppy eyes, prophecy!
We will discuss that at a later time. Let's focus on one thing at a time, honey. Now, I do believe that we should be hitting the road before it does be getting too late, and we lose the chance to get an audience with his emperor-ness, whatever the word for that is. But yeah, if we want to be making good time, we should be heading that way just about now. We've been chatting here for quite a bit, and plus, we don't want to be talking about too much when more people are coming in, and they don't need to be hearing our business.
Well, Owen, are you willing to come with us on this interesting adventure?
Oh, I am. I'm a bit curious because, like, well, you know, I'm a bit of a bookworm, a bit nosy because of it. I'm a little studious. So when I hear words like prophecy, whoever tossed around, it makes me kind of wonder, like, what? Do you guys, if you don't want to tell me, it's fine. I respect it, you know, but I've heard it like 4, 6 times or whatever, and I thought maybe I could ask since you've been so cavalier with it.
In all honesty, I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping to learn more about it once we speak with the Emperor.
So you know there is a prophecy, and X variable could be anything.
It could be anything.
Okay, well I can bite that worm, I don't mind, I'm a fish. I'm
What
not a
kind of fish do you think you would be?
I think if I had to be one, it would be something that like to dwell on the bottom. You know, bottom feeder, right? But like served a purpose, you know, brought
A
something up to the
parrotfish!
top.
A
A
parrotfish!
parrotfish?
Yes, they are bottom feeders, and they are often seen on the bottom of the waters and such. And all they do is just they help clean up the environment. They help find funny little items that are in the sands.
Yeah, so no, that sounds exact dream job, right? That's a dream.
Job.
Oh,
Macron
like
puts in
that.
his notes that that Owen's long-term goal might be to become a fish. Dream job.
I put in my notes that I might want to become a fish. Dream job.
Hellcock puts in her notes. She might have to start trying fish.
Dream job.
Sorry,
No,
I had to.
hashtag dream job. No. No, I like that. I like that you ask those interesting perspective questions. Make a person think, you know? So you guys are going to go impress some, like, noble lot, right? Some emperor? Something?
Yeah, one of those real. Wow, fuck! I still leave from Brooklyn. Dear fucking Christ!
Hey,
I
you
know
know,
how
those
tired I was.
friggin' guys.
You know, just those fucking guys down the street there, man. No, reset it. You know, it's one of them stuffed shirt types. I don't do a whole lot of reading, but like I've heard stories, and it's very much like those pompous guys, the ones that they try to woo the princess, but they try to do with all the flashy stuff and not like the actual heart and character. I think is the term. But basically, the people who just they have a lot of money and they like to flaunt it. That's the kind of vibe that I get from these stuffed shirt types.
Makes
He doesn't
sense.
seem like the type, but maybe you sensed something that I didn't.
I'm not a big fan of nobles and royalty and such. They just tend to come off a little pretentious.
Well, I think it's not fair to generalise, right? Because, like, you can have 99 percentile be a shitwad fuckwit, right? But you could have one of them in there be like, I'm gonna kill the rest of them. You never know, you know? Somebody, you know, it's always takes a catalyst to light a firework, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, and I'm not saying that he is a bad one. I've just had enough experiences in the past that I keep him at arm's length, and I have a pretty decent arm length, if you will. That being said, allegedly, I may or may not have introduced a couple of not so nice stuffed shirts to a very tall window and a very long drop, but that is neither here nor there.
Are you sure
Well,
you're not the
that's
one who's
good.
being hunted down by the law?
Oh, you
In my defense, it was an actual job with a contract. It was within the law. He just happened to be doing some not so savory things with the taxes. He refused to get the money back, and the discussion didn't go the way it was supposed to.
No. You end up taking the rap for that or what?
Oh no, they gave me about 800 gold for taking care of it. He was pocketing the taxes and letting the town fall to ill repair, but what was supposed to be a public trial ended up with a bit of a scuffle, and there was some broken glass in a church. Maybe that was a little blasphemous. I'm still paying for that one, but that's neither here nor there. What's that? Oh, look, there's the brunch rush is coming in. We should probably get out before the brunch rush takes over the place.
Oh yeah, no. We should. Where are we going? Where we head?
I'm gonna look at our lovely NPC and tell her basically lead the way because she's the one who got us here.
Yeah, and I have no fucking clue where I'm going. So,
Before she's able to say anything, hold on. Where's my? Yeah, here we go. Someone pops into the bar. Did that work? No, it didn't.
Testicle difficulties, people.
Yes, there we go. There we go. Boom. Up here. Colubrid walks in, kind of out of breath a little bit, and then he sees you and recognizes you lot, so he goes over to you all. Oops,
Oh, good
not
morning.
that person.
hello.
Coral, yeah, he's in trouble.
But who's in trouble? What's going on?
Coral,
Well, your city doesn't have guards?
my son, Coral.
What? Let's
As
just
soon
go.
as he mentions it's his kid, Kaltoth immediately grabs her battle axe and is just like, "Where is he?"
If you remember, Coral, aka Carl, is the son of Colubrid, and he was one of the guardsmen for the town that you guys ran away from.
Oh shit, that's right. Never mind. Fuck. I genuinely forgot about him.
Macron's already on the move. Let's go.
Who's Coral? I'm running behind.
Yeah.
We'll explain on the way. Just put some hustle in your step.
running.
Let's go.
I've got muscle in my step.
And then you guys will exit the bar, and we'll probably call it there for the night.
All right then. I hope everyone
my
had.
Alrighty then.
I am so fucking Cam the player is so fucking in love with Owen. Oh my god.
Okay.
Having a great time with everybody.
Let's
Everyone
give a
has such distinct personalities.
let's give a good real quick end to this session. Thank you everyone for joining. Welcome,
Oh,
DK.
There's a hydrate before we go.
All I have is alcohol, so you know.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll go drink some soda with
Hey.
that.
We are saying welcome to DK. Welcome into the Dice and Destiny family. Thank you, Sid, for a wonderful game. I had a lot of fun. I have missed learning more about this. Learning more about Pathfinder.
Yeah.
I miss being a player.
I easily say it felt very great, and I had a blast myself. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. Keep an eye out for more fun things. Remember to check over at Mello the Fairy on Saturday because he is going to be doing his homebrew Yu-Gi-Oh! World, his Saturday campaign. Sunday we will be continuing with the WTFs, and keep an eye out later on throughout the week because after I get back from Game On Expo where Q Cosplay will be, make sure you check it out.
By the way, if people have not bought their Game On passes yet, you still have a couple days left, like the next 3 days. If you use code FABULOUS, you get 10% off your full purchase.
Hell yeah. Keep in mind, though, people, that if you do decide you want to go, Tony Hawk will be there. So
he's making his con debut, first ever convention in his lifetime.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope you all have fun. Keep your eye out because after that convention, when I get back from Arizona, we're gonna be running a mini campaign where Cam will be bringing back, Kyuka will be bringing back his character of Tambrix Raketh, and we are gonna storm the castle. It's gonna be great.
Let's see what happens.
Tuesday, I will be on Mellow the Fairies game, being Lumora Venomous, and then scattered streams throughout until the next time I see you all. Have a wonderful night. Stay hydrated. We're gonna go ahead and raid Singing Tink because why not? Send
Hey,
you all
they're
over
my
there.
roommate.
Yeah.
And their partner, I believe, is the one streaming tonight. I believe they're streaming Fallout tonight.
Ah, yes, I saw it was Fallout New Vegas. Go
Oh.
say hi. Go drop some love. And yeah, night everyone. Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are we good?